All right, what is up, everyone? This is the Osmo.com NHL Hit the Ice show for Saturday. What is it? The 29th of December. So we've got 14 games to talk about. We could talk early or we could talk the main slate. Doesn't really matter to me. I like the contest better for the early slate, but you guys know my feelings about the $40 tournament. A lot of people don't actually max that. I think just because it's so top heavy. I obviously don't max that. I don't know. Just wish they would have some better offerings on DK for Saturdays, but we'll see. Maybe if I complain enough. No, they're not watching the show. They don't really care what I have to say. Oh yeah, what's up? Boom. Is that Rez in chat too? Yeah, wow. Quite the crew in chat already. So we usually just kind of talk about last night. Congrats if you missed the news on Robin Leonard not starting. If you did, and you swapped all your Leonard to Grice like I did manually, yeah, came out on the wrong side of it. So a goalie that didn't even start, that was like 13% in the $8, put up like what 4 or 5 DK points. So that's always fun when that happens. He outscored half the goalies at least. So good stuff. Annoying parts of NHL DFS, and we were just talking yesterday about how just there's so much variance in the goalie position already, and of course it happens on a 3-game slate where he's kind of chalky and wasn't even starting, gets the win. So congrats if you played Robin Leonard and profited. I will enjoy taking your money in the future. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, that's just how it goes sometimes. You guys want to talk early or main? Played a guy in cash who had Leonard. I was laughing at first. I mean, yeah. If people aren't going to... You had 30 minutes to swap. It's not like it was a last-second thing. So you should have swapped off of Leonard. It's going to work one time out of 20, and everyone's going to make a big deal about it, myself included. But, yeah, that's just never going to be a profitable play. You'll take that person's money in the long run if you stay on top of stuff. Ignorance is bliss. Yeah, Josh. Totally. Ignorance is bliss sometimes in NHL DFS. Oh, all right. Small crew for a Saturday, it looks like. Oh my God. Josh, I just saw what you had in today for your entry fees. Good luck to you today, MMA and NHL. You have time to do both, Jake, or just one? Both slates? We could probably do both slates. I don't want to talk about all 14 games, really. We could just maybe go through Cruncher on like the early slate and just kind of see what fits together. Could do that. Let's see. Actually, let's open up Cruncher. I have my projections in there, so I don't really care if you guys see those for the early or for the main. I mean, projections are great and all, but that's not really the key to anyone's success, I don't think. There's quite a few good projection systems out there. Okay. Let's just see what fits together on the early slate, I think is a pretty good way to go. Yeah, you'd rather do early? Yeah, if you play like the low stakes stuff and you want to play that $8, I think that's almost filled. So go do that if you want to play the $8. It's 2 times min cash. I think it pays out just under 20%. And then there's 2K up top. So nice tournament. I think close to maxing it. I think I put 50 in. I think the max is like 52 or 55 maybe. So that's what I'm going to be doing this afternoon, plus the wild play, so I'll watch that. Don't have to use NHL TV for that, which is always nice. Get to watch the broadcast. People don't ruin the goals in chat before you can actually see them. So that's an extra bonus. Yeah, boom. Why are you awake so early? Should be at the gym or something, man. Oh, Liverpool, you're watching soccer. That makes sense. All right, let's do this. Let's just run like 50. So there's no rules in play right now for this slate. Oh, I think Fantasy Cruncher does not yet have. So they got Draisaitl on line 1 with McDavid, of course, and then they have Ratty updated. No, they don't. So I'm gonna have to manually change that. Chase on, get him out of there. All right. I think that was the only change. The Sharks did some weird stuff at some point during the game, during their last game, but I'm just going with what Fantasy Cruncher has, what Daily Faceoff has on their lines. Those were the lines for the majority of the game, so I'm just gonna pretend like they're gonna stick the whole game, which I don't really expect to happen. But oh well, they are playing Hurdle at center. That is confirmed. Kane, Hurdle. Yeah. Oh, it's Donskoy? It's not LeBanc? I know they went to Donskoy at some point with that line. I was just actually reading an article. Okay. So, looks like my projections like McDavid, Couture line. Wait, why am I not getting any Hurdle? What's wrong here? Hurdle. Is it LeBanc? And then Kane? Oh, they're line 3, that's why. I didn't include line 3 because I'm a donkey. All right, let's run this again. Oh, they practice Kane, Hurdle, Donskoy? Okay. That makes sense. Either way, they're about the same price, right? Donskoy and Donskoy and LeBanc, I'm assuming. Yeah, Donskoy 500 less, so that would be an easy swap. But jeez. Oh, it's because Ratty's so cheap. That's why you're getting so much McDavid. Man, you can jam them in with basically, well, actually, I think literally every other line except Winnipeg 1. So everyone, I would think, is going to start off their lineups. Oh, wait, you can jam them in with Scheifele. That's outrageous. Okay, so you got Ken Gravel in there for 2,500, and Quick. You could even, you could play around with this. Find a better min-price defenseman, or you could correlate your goalie here pretty easily if you want to go with like a Dylan or something. Is he still skating with Carlson if Carlson's going to be back? Whether it's Koskinen or whoever. Yeah, that's stupid. This slate sucks. You can jam in the 2 best lines together. You can play any 2 lines together, basically. So, I don't know. Did not even think that was possible, but it makes sense now that Ratty is basically min salary. So, that's a little bit annoying. Kane is overrated. Evander Kane? I don't know about that. Do people overrate him? Whatever. He's good for DFS. So that's really all I care about. All right. I didn't run any randomness, so that's why we're getting a ton of McDavid compared to 10% of Scheifele. But yeah, you can jam in any 2 lines together if you don't correlate your defenseman, which is usually not the case when you have Winnipeg 1 and Edmonton 1 at home. San Jose is usually really expensive. How much Burns are we getting? Yeah, Burns, Carlson. I might just enter this in right now, but I won't, actually, because I usually run some 6-man, some Josh stacks. We've got the namesake of the Josh stack in our chat right now. So here we go. Let's see. We can do a what was it? Radil with Timo, and then Hurdle, Kane, Donskoy. Or you could even take out one of these guys, take out Donskoy, and go with Burns. I bet you could fit that in. Gotta delete that, delete that. And there you go. Kovalchuk one off. Spurgeon, Quick. Why is the pricing so soft? Okay. Minnesota has looked terrible lately. I mean, I don't think they've looked terrible. They just haven't finished. Like both the top two lines in the last game against Chicago. Yeah, it was against Chicago, but you know, they were on the road. They had like 40-some shots total, the team as a whole. The top two lines like doubled up in chances and shot attempts when they were on the ice. Like, it's just, they've been playing just fine. They just can't finish. I'm not saying they're going to turn it around today in Winnipeg, but they do have a really good line. The Stahl line is really, really good. If you watch them, if you look at their numbers, they just are constantly doing stuff you want for DFS, and you can fit them with whoever, and they're probably going to be pretty low owned because people are going to think like that. Minnesota's looked terribly lately. They've lost a lot of games lately that they probably shouldn't have, but they're still creating just a ton of chances all over the place, and you get full power play correlation with this line. So that's the one that I want. That's no surprise. I play them probably more than I should. Same thing with Dallas one. Speaking of lines that I play more than I should, the main slate is going to be, I don't know, it's a really, really good slate. I wish they had like that $5 that they've run a couple times, the $5 150 or even the $8 150. Like, there are so many options tonight, and unless you're putting down $2,000 in one tournament, you're probably not going to be able to play more than 20 lineups tonight. Founder and creator of the Josh stack. Yeah, this is for the early, Eric. Vegas has a lot of value better than Minnesota. I mean, yeah, everything's cheap. Like I just showed you, everything you can fit together, any two lines together, if you don't correlate your defenseman. And you can fit in a ton of Burns as well. So, and Carlson and Bufflin. So it's not going to be that difficult to make a good lineup on the early slate. So a bunch of my lineups will have, like, where's an example? A bunch of them will have some salary left over. Like this, you got 700 left over. You've got, look, 2,400 left over. And you get in Burns and Carlson. People aren't really going to run this out. Edmonton 1 and Winnipeg 1 are going to be the clear chalk. But as you see, I'm still going to play a bunch of them. It's just, there's not really a way around it when you can fit them in with whoever you want. Let's see, can you fit? Oops. Yeah, you can fit them in with whoever. That's outrageous. I guess I just don't like the Wild. That's fair. I mean, it's not like they're a top 3 team in the NHL. They're fine. They're decent. Edmonton chalk. I mean, it's McDavid, and now you've got Ratty, who's super cheap. Draisaitl on the PP with him. Yeah, I would think so. I mean, what do you guys think? Who do you think is gonna be chalk on a 3-gamer? Doesn't really matter, but those are the 2 clear spots I see, and because you can fit them in with whoever you want on the other game as well, the Vegas LA side. If you like Kopitar line, if you want the Carlson line, they're just forever priced down. Or if you want to go to Brandon Peary, I mean, be my guest. So yeah, the early slate isn't that interesting to talk about, as you can see. let's talk about the late slate. Well, first of all, who do you guys think is going to be chalk on the main slate? It's be interesting to see. Because we've got a bunch of 6.5 totals. Ottawa, Washington. We've got Philly, Florida. Toronto is going to be a 6.5 total, I would guess. Let's see. I'll refresh and see if they've updated. Yeah, 6.5 with almost 4 of it going to Toronto. Tampa Bay, 3.8 implied total. And they're at home. Washington against awful Ottawa. Nashville at home against the Rangers. Colorado at home against the Wout Blackhawks. And then Calgary at home against Vancouver with a 3.5 total. So it's just, there are so many good spots tonight. I don't know if one's gonna emerge as chalk. That's why I kind of want to hear what you guys think. Caps, Florida, Colorado, yeah, for sure. Florida, they're on a back-to-back. They played last night. Hard to get away from the point line if you're multi-entering. Stamkos line has also been very good. Stamkos has been incredible. Isles revenge narrative on who? Tavares? Why? Because he left their organization? Early Kajula, Puljujarvi, or Iafallo? Puljujarvi. Both Kajula and Puljujarvi are, I think, skating with Nugent Hopkins. So, Puljujarvi. Florida won me so much cash last season. Sure. Yeah, so there's like 5. Tampa 2, Toronto 1 or 2, maybe both. Florida 1, Washington 1, probably Dallas 1, probably Colorado 1. Especially with, no, I didn't hear what did Trotz say. Oh, what's up, Nias? We're just kind of discussing the slate as a whole, the 11 gamer Nias. So feel free to drop in your hot takes. I'm sure you're gonna like Blue Stack. I don't even know who else you'll like, but Blues actually are really cheap, so I don't even dislike that. What did Trotz say? What am I missing? I don't really care about narratives. Just like I mean, you could flip it either way with Dallas 1, right? Like, you could say their management, or was it the ownership, or I don't know who said what, but they basically said Sagan and Ben are an embarrassment. So whatever, you could say that's going to light a fire for them, and they're going to come out and play awesome, or they're going to not want to play for their ownership, their management, whatever, and they're going to suck and get beat at home against the Red Wings. So I don't think there's ever really a reason to buy into narratives. If you just go by the numbers, if you just look at how many chances Dallas 1 creates, it's pretty hard to hold on a second. All right. It's pretty hard to look the other way or look elsewhere for a top value line, I think, just because Detroit commits so many penalties. Dallas 1 full power play correlation. I don't know. I'm probably going to be wrong on them again. They're just cheap, and there's nothing bad about the spot. So it's going to be Dallas 1 for me, as you'll see when we do Fantasy Cruncher. We could just do it right now really quick. Gibson is hurt, right? Let's check. Is he hurt? Oh, he left the game the other day. Man, I can't keep track of all these injuries. No one will have his line changes article out today, so that's probably going to be a good read, especially for a bigger slate. I mean, it's always a good read, but especially on a day like today where there's going to be a bunch of news, I would expect that to be really helpful to you guys. So long story short, from the Flames morning skate, it looks like Rittich starts, Hamonic in. No James Neal. Frolik is the odd man out. Okay. Penn's had an optional skate. There's really nothing that crazy that I see just yet, but I'm sure there's some little stuff that I'm missing, so you probably want to pay attention when Nolan's article comes out. Hornquist on the ice. All right. Detroit is playing a lot better too. Detroit is playing a lot better lately, more disciplined too. Maybe. I still think Detroit's terrible. And Dallas 1 is Dallas 1. They're going to create a million chances. It's just whether or not they actually put them home for once. And multiple chances at that. Okay, let's delete that. And we're going to go with... We'll include third lines for now. We'll do 3 uniques. Actually, here's what we're going to do. Just so we get a good spread of things. We'll do 15 and 15. Otherwise, Dallas 1 is just going to break everything for me. I really like Arizona 2, Stephon Keller, no Gibson, or Miller, Chad Johnson blows. I don't think you said anything false there. Arizona 2, okay, Stephon Keller, okay, you specified. Yeah, I think that would be the Arizona line I like. Let's see. They still have full power play correlation? Because Anaheim does commit a lot of penalties. They're not great at killing them off. Philly has tightened up defensively. Is that what you say, Newhouse? Let's see. Yeah, they still have full power play correlation. So assuming they stick together, I don't know how they're going to match here. You want whoever faces Kessler. Not that you can't get by Getzlaf, Ritchie, and Kasha. But with no Aberg on there now, that line's going to be a little bit better defensively, and I'd rather not face the Getzlaf line. And I think they're probably going to go against... Well, they're probably going to go against Keller. I don't know what Anaheim's been doing lately as far as matching, so it's tough to say, but this is probably the better line I would want in a vacuum, all power play 1 as well. And hopefully they see some extended time against Kessler, Cogliano, and Silfverberg. Dallas 1 again. Yep. Dallas 1 again. So if you read my article this morning, just ignore the first one, the first stack I listed, because if you've been riding with me with Dallas 1, you've probably lost a lot of money. So I will make back my Dallas 1 money at some point this year. Maybe not tonight, but the numbers have lied so far, but hopefully they won't in the long run. Let's see. Preds lines? All right. Do you guys want to talk about each of these games? I think I'm doing 20 lineups tonight, by the way. Not that you guys were dying to know, but really going to have to hone in on just a few spots. And there's not really much in this first game that I really like. Boston and Buffalo. This one, I believe, has a 5.5 total. So this is the lowest one on the board. Yeah, in the $40. Thoughts on top line Nieto? I mean, he's playing with McKinnon and Rantanen. So I think I said yesterday, I'd probably play myself for 3,100 playing with McKinnon and Rantanen at this point. Calgary 1, take it to the bank. Yeah, there's like 5 spots, like we said, 5-6 spots. That's like, you could see them just completely wrecking the slate. So good thing we don't have to really worry about ownership. There's enough really good spots that, like, there's not one Colorado 1 line that's super underpriced where they're going to be 30%. There's not going to be anything like that. I don't know if anybody's even going to get to 20 in the $40, which is good. I like Calgary 1, had them at 1% in the 333 the other night. Nice. You probably had a good night then, Huey. I think you did. I think you shared a screenshot in the premium Slack, which you guys can all be a part of for a week-long free trial. Use the code on the screen. Hit the ice. That is still going on. You get access to my projections, Osmo's rankings, all the good stuff on Osmo.com for the NHL package, as well as the premium chat, which is a lot of people's favorite thing. Great segue. Yeah. Anytime someone, I can talk about premium Slack. Premium Slack is the best. I don't know. There's always someone to talk about whatever you want to talk about. We've got a bunch of different channels: sports betting, general, golf, NFL. I said sports betting, basketball, baseball when that comes back. It was Florida last year. Huey loves the Flames. Sure. Yeah, premium Slack. Premium Slack is awesome. All right. So I don't really have a ton on this game. Marchand is looking like he's going to be out. So we've got top line Danton Heinen, who is under 4K, also on the top power play. We're probably going to see Eichel, Reinhart, Skinner see some time against Bergeron, and that gets me not excited about the Eichel line. If I'm going to a line in this game, it's going to be Boston 1, and that's really about it. Again, don't really worry about ownership on this slate. I don't really have much I want to play in this game outside of maybe a Boston 1 share and some Torrey Krug. Ristolainen skated this morning. I believe he's expected to play. Palu, whatever his name is, however you pronounce it. I saw that he was going to be an extra today at morning skate, so I don't think he's in, but just confirm that later when Nolan's article comes out. All right, let's move on to the next game. Islanders and the Maple Leafs, both teams on a back-to-back tonight. The Islanders had the comeback last night, the Robin Lehner game. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be Lehner or Greiss tonight, or if we're going to be scrambling 30 minutes before the slate locks. Sparks is going for the Leafs. We've got a 3.9 implied total for the Leafs, 2.6 for the Islanders. Once again, you can kind of take your pick with the Maple Leafs lines. I don't know how they're going to match, if they're going to match at all, but it's probably going to be the top six, seeing the top six for the most part. And I'm not worried about the Barzal line. I'm not worried about the Brock Nelson line at all. Yeah, Rez, I wasn't going to, but I can go through quickly and just kind of talk about lines that I'll have exposure to or anything that I see that's worth noting, but I don't want to do like a deep dive in all 11 games. I prefer Tavares, Marner, and Johnson, but they're really getting up in price. Matthews is obviously super expensive, but some cheaper line mates with Marleau and Kapanen as his wingers. Morgan Riley, incredibly expensive, $6,500 for him, but he's just so much assist equity when you've got all these talented forwards on the Leafs, and they're at home. It's a crazy good spot. I can't pinpoint where the scoring is going to come from, especially because I don't know how the matching is going to go. So I'm probably going to have some exposure to both the Matthews and the Tavares line, and it's going to be split pretty evenly. So kind of hedging there. I want pieces of the Leafs, but I'm not going to end up making a huge stand on either of the top two lines. All right. And then I don't really have anything on the Islanders side. I don't even think I'll get to my favorite Brock Nelson, Anders Lee line. Eberle is also on the IR, so just a note, he's not going to play tonight, of course. All right, this game, Capitals and the Ottawa Senators. This one I like quite a bit, and maybe not for the same reasons as everyone else. We've got, it's going to be Copley, I believe, going for the Caps. I saw he was taking shots. Defensemen were shooting at him, and one of the beat writers said that usually indicates that he's going to start. So, of course, confirm. I don't know if it's confirmed on Daily Faceoff just yet, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. For me, I really love, well, first of all, I really love the Caps top line here. They are not that expensive. Like, you can get them for under 19K, which I like. Under 20K, which I like. If they're your favorite line, go for it. It's a really good spot against Ottawa, who is bad defensively. They're a little bit better at home, of course, but the penalty kill, they still have issues. They still have issues with goaltending, and I don't think they fixed anything overnight. They just allowed 6 to the Islanders last night. They just have these periods where they just implode. Oh no, Shabbat's out? Is he really? Where'd you see that? I was just about to talk about Shabbat. Okay. A month each for Shabbat and Yaros. Wow. Okay. 3 weeks from the upper body injury. Wow. Oh, so he's like, I mean, I don't know how his metrics are defensively. I'm assuming they're terrible just because everyone on Ottawa is going to be terrible because they drag each other down. Oh, and now I'm just seeing Dallas 1 broken up as well. So we've got Ben with Hintz and Radulov, and then Sagan with Shore and Gurianov. I doubt that stays the same for more than a few shifts. It's going to go back to Sagan, Ben, and Radulov. It always does. All right, any other big news that you guys see if you're scrolling through the Twitter list, please let me know. So all that probably does, and this is just pure speculation, but it's probably going to give a boost to, let's see, is Lejoie playing? Why do we have him listed up as a forward? This is scaring me. I don't know if I missed something on him. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that Lejoie bumps to the top power play. Could possibly be DeMello. They still have Harper listed as a right wing on DK. Did they miss that again? Anyways, DeMello becomes a better punt option at 2,900, probably an increase in minutes. Shabbat was playing 1 million minutes. Lejoie is going to get a bump in minutes as well, unless I just completely missed something on him. CC's probably going to get a bump as well. He scored a goal last night. He's kind of he was last year like everyone's favorite guy to play when he was playing a bunch of minutes. And he is 3,400, so not the worst play in the world. Man, I just want to see who's going to be on power play 1. But anyways, I really like Whitestone, Kachuk. I would like to see Kachuk on the top power play, but with Duchesne back and now Ryan getting the other forward spot on the top power play, probably not going to get full power play correlation with the White line, but I still really love them. I think they're going to face off against either the Kuznetsov line or the Eller line. And you look at those two lines, just how they've done in their short samples. The Eller line has about like almost 80 minutes, I think, together at even strength. So can start to make some assumptions that they're going to be pretty bad defensively. But also the Kuznetsov line, like 20 high danger chances against in, I think, under 60 minutes of even strength ice time. That's really bad. They've been awesome offensively, so they're willing to trade chances, and hoping to see some Whitestone Kachuk against both the Kuznetsov and the Eller line, and I think we're going to see that quite a bit tonight. So I'm all over that. And then was going to really like Shabbat for 6,100 because Washington commits a bunch of penalties and can't really kill him off at a great rate. But it's probably going to be Lejoie or DeMello or CC, whatever they do with that power play. But going to have a bunch of exposure to at least one of these Ottawa Senators defensemen. Niskanen out. Bowie on second pair D. Okay. Wow. So keep Dallas 1. We'll get to that one. We'll talk about that. Detroit has done well for DFS wise. They're strong. I kind of disagree, but especially going into Dallas, they played a pretty slow pace when they're at home. You've got like the obvious plays on the cap side. You don't really need to talk about them. Huge total. If you like them, go overweight on them. It's kind of hard to play Tom Wilson at 6,200 with no power play exposure. So, I'm just going with caps PP, and it's hard to get away from the top line with Backstrom, Oshie, and Ovechkin, of course, all on the top power play. Carlson, I think this is a fair price for him at 6,400. Don't play Niskanen if he's out, like you guys are telling me in chat, of course. And that's really all I have in this game. It's going to be a ton of Ottawa 1 and Washington 1 for me. Montreal, Tampa Bay, we have a, 3.8 implied total. Let me see. 3.8 implied total for the Leafs, 2.2 for the Montreal Canadiens. Not the Leafs, the Lightning. Always mix those two up when I start talking fast, so forgive me, but I don't really want to target anything going into Tampa at this point, especially on big slates. So I'm probably off the Canadiens entirely. The Point Kucherov and Johnson line is my favorite here. They're also the most expensive. They are going to be one of the highest one of the highest owned lines on the slate. Just how I'm kind of reading things right now. That doesn't really matter, like I said. If they get above 20%, I would be pretty surprised. They're probably going to be somewhere in that 12 to 18% range, which is perfectly fine. They are awesome. They're going to get a really, really good matchup, I would think, against the Domi, Drouin, and Byron line. Domi and Drouin, super high event, and Tampa likes to match the point line against opposing top competition. It just depends on how they see it, because if they go up against Danault, Gallagher, and Tatar, then yeah, it takes away a lot of what we like about this matchup. But I think they're going to go up against Domi, Drouin, just because of all the production we've seen from Domi and Drouin, just from a raw numbers, like goals and assists and all that, not necessarily possession numbers like the Danault, Tatar, Gallagher line has. Stamkos or Tampa power play is also, of course, a great spot. Carlson or Riley. I think I would, if it's a one-off, I think I would go Carlson. But if you're stacking either the Caps or the Leafs, just go with whoever correlates better, I would say. So Tampa 2, Tampa 1 as sort of a secondary play. Gotta like Hedman for under 6K on DraftKings. And then that is really all we have. JT Miller, I believe, is out for a while. I thought I saw that this morning on Twitter. And that is really it, folks, for this game. I'm going to move it really quickly onto these next few games and try to get done here in about 10 or 15 minutes. Flyers and the Florida Panthers, we have Carter Hart, James Reimer, both confirmed here. It looks like 6.5 total here. Barkov, Huberdeau, and Dadonov. I don't know which line they're going to match, which is really frustrating. They do like to hard match at home, but you've got a pretty balanced top six with the Flyers. They've stacked their top six. If it were me, I'd probably hard match the Barkov line against Couturier, Simmons, and Voracek. I don't know what the Panthers are going to do. I really hope that they go Barkov versus Giroux, Van Riemsdyk, and Konechny, because then that would really open things up for Couturier, Simmons, and Voracek all in the top power play as well. Florida has trouble killing penalties off, and then below their top line, they just have no depth. This line is not going to be good defensively, and I'm not worried about McCann, Brouwer, and Mulligan, of course. No line can compete with the point line, especially Domi line. Yeah, point line is incredible. They're matchup proof. You don't really need me to tell you that they're a good play. But yeah, I really, really like this Simmons, Couturier, and Voracek line on the road. Florida on a back-to-back. I think the only line I'm looking at for them and I don't even know if I'll get to them, is the top line. I do prefer some other top lines in their price range. So with 20 lineups, if I get to them at all, it's probably going to be in a one lineup, maybe two lineups. But I'm not really getting much of them in my crunches when I'm running 100, so I doubt I'm going to get there with 20. All right. Not really anything interesting to say about defensemen in that game, honestly. Penguins Blues, the Nihas special. We have probably Matt Murray going up against Jake Allen. I believe he was confirmed earlier today, or he's likely. Maintenance morning for Flames right wing James Neal. He's playing with Backlund and Tkachuk. Okay. Anyways, we have a pretty underpriced St. Louis one line here. I don't know if they're going to hard match, but I'm hoping to see the O'Reilly line go up against Crosby, Gensel, and Rust. That would be a very good matchup for Shen, Schwartz, Tarasenko against Malkin, Hornquist, or whether it's Kessel and Dominic Simone. I think they're skating right now, so confirm these lines later. But the main talking point here for me is St. Louis 1. They're going to come close to hitting the caps, if not hit the caps for me on my 20 lineups. So I'm pretty excited to use them here. And I really, really hope, like I said, that they get the Malkin line at even strength. That would make me very, very happy. Pietrangelo back in. I think this is speculation. I didn't see this power play 1 tag. I haven't seen anything. I've also been doing the show for the last, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. So I didn't see anything about the St. Louis power play. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just going to do a quick Twitter search. But if he is on the power play 1, it's really, really hard not to like him for under 5K. Probably going to step in and play 20-plus minutes once again. But, man, that would be really nice if they finally put Pietrangelo on that top power play. Even when he was healthy, they were playing Dunn up there, which I don't really get. But I'm obviously not the coach. So St. Louis 1 plus Pietrangelo, even if he is on the second unit, he's probably going to play a bunch at even strength with Shen, Schwartz, and Tarasenko. I don't really have much that I love on the Penguins. I rarely get to them on big slates. They don't actually create that many chances. They're probably pretty efficient with them because they've got Malkin and Crosby and a lot of good skaters, Hornquist as well. But they just never really pop for me unless they're just like at home against the Blackhawks or something like that. And then they're always super chalky, so I try to get away from them. So again, probably no Penguins stacks for me tonight. So I also rarely get them right, so I will say that. Rangers and Predators, we have likely Henrik Lundqvist going up against Pekka Rinne, Subban back. Forsberg skated today. I didn't see if he was going to play. I don't think he's ready to play just yet. But I'm just going to assume that he's not ready to play. Johansson, Arvidsson back. He was back last game with Yarncroc. That would be the line that I'm looking at on the Predators. We've got this line back intact. Fiala, Turris, Smith, my kryptonite for the last year plus. They're another one of those lines that really never gets there, it seems like. But I don't really like their matchup against Hayes, Kreider, Zuccarello, if that's how they're going to do it, or if they're going to go Johansson against Hayes, Kreider, Zuccarello, or if they're just not going to hard match at all. So I don't like targeting lines going into Nashville on big slates. Nashville's tough at home, especially now that they got Subban back and Arvidsson. Those are some nice reinforcements. This Turris line, they really slow things down for their opposition as well. So really not much that I'm looking at on the Rangers side. It feels like I'm just going to play all home lines tonight, except for maybe the Caps. But Yossi and Ellis, in my opinion, are both underpriced. Yossi at 6K, that's always going to get my eye, and not worried about anything on the Rangers side defensively. So 6K for Yossi, he's going to be probably one of my highest owned defensemen, even if I don't get to any Predators lines. So it's just value. It's just a value thing for me. And I love playing these power play 1 quarterbacks. I try to jam them in as much as possible. All right. Actually, there's going to be one defenseman, I think, that's going to garner the most ownership, and that's going to be Mark Giordano, who we'll get to in just a second. Red Wings stars, we have Jimmy Howard and Ben Bishop. This one's just about Dallas one for me. I'll just kind of reiterate what I've said a couple times now and a million times this season. They are underpriced according to my projections. Fantasy Crunchers sorts by value. Even if I was hand building one lineup tonight, there is a good chance that I would get to Sagan, Ben, and Radulov. Sagan is not listed on the top line. Or I guess Ben and Radulov are not with Sagan, is what I'm trying to get to. But they almost always end up back together. Like, I check all the time on Natural Stat Trick once the game is done and see what Dallas did, even if I don't watch the game, and it's like 5, 6, 7 shifts with just a random guy, or random lines, and then it's Sagan, Ben, and Radulov for the rest of the game. And I'm always kicking myself because I don't manually edit it on Cruncher, and like they're going to be together on the power play anyways, so you can play this power play, and that's what you want to attack. The Stars' power play has not been good, but the Red Wings not only commit a bunch of penalties, they're top 5 in the league in time shorthanded, but they also don't kill them off at a good rate either. I think they're just above 78% for the season. I mean, it's Dallas one night for me. I apologize for mushing them because I always do, but it's going to be Dallas 1 and Klingberg for me, and they're going to hit the caps almost certainly. Blackhawks and the Colorado Avs. Daily Faceoff is not yet showing the new lines for Colorado. I don't know why that is. They skated yesterday with Nieto in lieu of Landeskog. Landeskog was down here with Comfort and Kerfoot, which is actually a pretty interesting line, and one that I think you could play if you were confident that the 3 big guns would not be back together. So I don't know how I'm going to play it just yet, but McKinnon, Rantanen, and Nieto is so cheap that they just smash in value. Even if you don't have Nieto projected like a good player, he's $3,100. He's going to be a decent value in most people's models. And then if you manually adjust for playing with McKinnon and Rantanen, you probably have to up Nieto's projection a little bit. I don't know how long that line's going to stick together, or maybe at morning skate they just go back to McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog. But even if it is McKinnon, Rantanen, and Landeskog, I'm like desperately trying to fill in super cheap lines around them. So like I don't even know who you can fit in with them, but this would be a reason for me to want to get to like a Nashville 2 and just double punt defenseman there. Because if these 3 do end up together in pregame skate or morning skate this morning, they're also going to hit the caps for me. And I like to diversify, but they'd be right up there with Dallas 1 as my highest owned stack. Right now I do have McKinnon, Rantanen, and Nieto up there. So I'm still going to have a bunch of yes, they did break up Dallas 1, Nihas. But we've seen this movie before. They do this, and then they end up, after 2 shifts, right back together because the Stars get down 1-0 because the Stars suck. Yeah, I mean, if you think that Landeskog, Comfort, and Kerfoot are going to stay together for the whole game, that would be actually a really interesting line to stack in tournaments because you would get both Comfort and Kerfoot on the top power play, And then you could stack Tyson Barrie for 5K, and they're probably going to get better matchups against the Kane line, against the Camp DeBrincat Sakura line, if that's going to be a thing. There's really no bad matchup when you're going up against the Blackhawks. So just play the best players. The Blackhawks, I think I said in my article, they've played some inspired hockey lately, but they just, if you look at the chances, they're giving up like 14, 15, 18 high danger chances in these games when you count all strengths. So they're not good. They've been getting bailed out by some decent goaltending. I wonder if it's going to be Delia today. Is Jake a big Nemeth guy tonight for punt D? I don't think so. He's not at his usual 2,500. So, I mean, he's fine for 2,900, but I don't think I'm going to have much Nemeth exposure. No. Probably no Nemeth for me. Yeah, so it's all Avs here. I don't even think that I need to talk about the Blackhawks lines. If you want to play Kane, that's fine. If you want to play like Taze and Saad together, that's also fine. But I'm probably not going to get to any full stacks, and I am full stacking them. So therefore, I'm probably not going to get to any Chicago forwards. Ducks hosting the Coyotes. This is one where I just like, there seems like there should be a ton of value that I would like, but we talked about the Stepan Keller Panik line. That line is fine. They're super, super cheap. Keller and Stepan should not be this cheap, just especially not Keller for 4,300. The Ducks do commit a lot of penalties. They don't have a great kill. It's just a matter of who's going to match who. And that's kind of a game I don't really want to play unless we see like Colorado 1 back together. Because if they are back together, then this line all of a sudden becomes chalky. And this game probably becomes somewhat chalky. The Kessler line would get some steam. The Getzlaff line would probably as well, although they're not that cheap. So you see how easy it would be if Colorado 1 was together to get to Stepan Keller and Panik. And you could still do that. I mean, it's a great power play spot for the Avs as well. So just something to be aware of. But it's not like I think it is a great spot. I have targeted the Ducks as much as anyone this season, but I don't think I really want to do it with the Coyotes. And then I actually don't like targeting Arizona all that much. They're not good at 5-on-5, but their kill is just exceptional. So even like you look at December, they're up at over 84% on the penalty kill. For the season, I think they're still at number 1, and it's just like a mental thing for me. Like they give it up a bunch at even strength, but you want to make those power play opportunities count, and I'm not certain that the Ducks are the team to do that. Lindholm and Montour are both fine values for me. I would have them as like A or B values here for their ice time alone. Again, not great power play upside, but Lindholm for 4,700 I like a lot, especially. All right, last game of the night. This one's going to be pretty easy for me. It's Calgary 1, and that's probably about it. James Neal is 3,200, so you knock $100 off this Backlund Kachuk. And Neal line, I think that is fine if you are looking for a filler stack, but it's going to be mostly Calgary 1. Those guys all play on the power play together, and you get Mark Giordano if you can afford that. This would be another reason to play like a super cheap line like Nashville 2 or Arizona, that Keller line, because it's really hard not to like this spot. Calgary 1, Giordano going to be probably my highest exposed player of the night, especially with Shabbat out. He's even going to get a bigger bump in my exposure. So I will be all over Calgary 1, and that's just how it's going to be. It's going to be Dallas 1. It's going to be probably Colorado 1. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, if I'm going to make some adjustments on Crunch or what. But, yeah, that's where I'm going to go. Ottawa 1 will be in update. Who got updated? Oh, you want me to update projections? Got to get this one. Okay, I will. I will after the show this afternoon at some point. But yeah, that's really about it. Just play the best plays tonight. Whatever you think are the best plays, play them, and just go over the field. I don't think you need to go all in on any lines. It's a really good MME night. I just wish there were some better tournaments. If you want to take a couple shots in that $40, like I'll be doing, that would be a pretty fun way to go. Also, don't spread yourself too thin. That's something that I think I do sometimes. I used to go too all in. Now I spread myself a little bit too thin sometimes, and I start kicking myself. But I think I'm gonna have the most exposure. Like I said, Calgary won, Colorado won, Dallas won, and then some sprinkles of the other high price lines. Like I'm gonna have the mid tier. It's gonna be St. Louis 1. It's gonna be Ottawa 1. So a lot of home teams for me. Hoping the home teams dominate. Didn't even mention that much about Toronto, but really fun slate tonight. Enjoy, play within your limits as always. I will be back on Monday. Probably gonna have some different scheduling for next week's shows. I won't be around on the weekend to do shows. I will be doing like writing and all that stuff, but I'll be away, so I'll just have my laptop, and I don't think I can stream effectively given the spotty Wi-Fi. So that will be next weekend. We'll have something figured out for you guys, especially the premium subscribers. If you want to try a trial, Hit the Ice is the promo code for a free week, and you get access to everything on the NHL package, Osmo's rankings, my projections. I will alert the chat when Osmo's rankings are up for the day. Expect that around 3:30 Eastern or so. Thanks for joining, people, and we'll see you back on Monday. Steve and I, Homercles. So good luck, guys.